So here we are, we're back another weekend, and what we found is that we've done a bunch more research and we have to grind away and clean up these fenders a lot more than we had anticipated. And so we've yanked off this fender, and what I'm going to do today is we're going to show you a lot more in-depth of where you need to be grinding, how you need to be looking at where you need to grind, and just what things to keep your eyes out for on potentials to try to get this fender to look the best it possibly can be. Looking down here on the A-pillar, you can see right about here is it's colliding with the actual metal behind the fiberglass. And then we're actually colliding a little bit right up top here. When we pull back this fiberglass fender, you can see those two marks since this has been driving around for a week or so. And it's actually rubbed away kind of that paint. So that's the area we're going to be cutting off. So we just marked that corner right there, the one that's facing you, with pencil, and you can see how it's just a little darker. So, and then we marked this little corner right here. We're just going to grind down a little bit, and we're going to do kind of little baby steps. You know, grind here, grind here. We're going to put it back in, see how it fits. If we still need to grind more away, we're going to come back and do it a little bit more. We're using a pencil because it actually shows up pretty well on the white. And so, yeah, it's going to be a lot of, let's try this, let's grind this away, let's grind this away, let's put it back on, you know, come back and do it again and take it off and grind some more. And it's just going to be a lot of little steps because we want to make sure that we're not grinding too much away and that we're grinding in the right spots. So just baby steps on this one. So we went back probably 2 or 3 times, just taking a little bit off of the corners and a little bit off of the arc, just making sure it's fitting so it's not super thick and it's putting itself in a good place. And so what we found is that actually the hole that we had previously drilled is not exactly in the right spot, and because we did a fairly small hole to fit the bolt size, now this is throwing us off in the wrong location. So we're actually going to elongate the hole, make more of a slot instead of just drilling a huge hole. We're going to use the Dremel and just kind of slot it out and put it into the place that we need. So that's our little next step. So we have the fender pretty much in place, and now what we're trying to do is we're trying to figure out where we need to trim and how we're going to clean this area up around the light. Because once we put the light in, it's definitely rubbing right down here in this area. What else do we see? I mean, we're right here. It looks like we're not going to go past that.
And that is in place.
That is in place currently.
So it's pushing.
And where are we pushing on it? We're not hitting down here. We're not hitting here. We're not hitting here. We're hitting right here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but so what does that mean? That we need to,
Man,
if we,
the whole thing out.
Right. If we cut away down here, that'll free up top, right? Because then it'll lower it just a hair.
And we're good right there.
We're getting close though, right there.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Just round it off a little bit in there. I think we should be good.
Yeah. So, all right. So we're gonna cut that line. All this is going away.
And some holes down there.
And we got some holes to trim on the bottom.
To bore out.
Yep.
Nice.
So this is what we're doing. We're just going a little bit step by step, trying to find where it's hitting, trim some away, call it good, come back, look at it again, trim some more away, and so on. I'll hold the light. One of the things that we're doing is that we've been putting this like towel on here just to collect a lot of dust, another one to just kind of protect the light. That seems to be, as you can see, it's collecting a whole bunch of the powder, so it's not going everywhere, just going down and not making a ginormous mess, so it's working well. All right, so after grinding that section away, we ground down quite a bit down here at the bottom, and then this whole section along here. We also did a bit of grinding on the backside to make it just a little bit thinner right there to make things slide together easier. It looks a lot better. So now I'm on top here. I can just put that in place. I've got to still push it a little bit to make it click in, but that is a lot better fitment. We're not hitting up top anymore. That's all fitting really well. We might be hitting back into this area a little bit and still a little bit down into here, but really, I'm not sure how much more we want to go. I'm pretty happy with that. One thing that we're finding is the actual placement of the light isn't changing too much. Like, we're still in a great spot down here where I put that line. Where I marked earlier and we were just tapping on the top with this corner, we're actually still there. So us removing this is just really more so we're not having to force this into place. It's actually sitting more on its own. It's sitting more comfortably. We're not having to push it and force it to be in any particular area. All right, so after reviewing, we are going to trim a little bit more up in this area. And possibly a little bit more down here. Not quite sure yet. We're going to talk about that, but we are hitting right there for sure. You good? You happy with that?
I think we pretty much nailed it, man. If I didn't break the headlight, it would be perfect.
Yeah. We do need to adjust this hole, I think, a little bit now because but we'll see when we put
the Dremel through there.
Yeah, but that
if we don't break it.
Well, yeah, we got to be super careful about not breaking it. But this is also a clip, remember? So I'm not sure if we can elongate that. If it'll make the
if it'll fit.
If it'll still work. When we set this into place from where we had it previously, now we have a little bit of a gap right in here. So we're gonna have to figure out what to do on that end to move it backwards into place. So advice for future fiberglass fender people is don't do these holes until you have this light in the exact correct placement. This was sort of a long process. It took us about 3 days, and granted that was us filming and taking photos and things of that nature, and probably if you're doing this it'll be a bit quicker because you're not going to be taking your time doing those things. But we did get everything to work, and the first time that we did it, it didn't look that great. We actually came back and did it a second time, did some tweaking, did a lot more sanding on the fenders to make things fit much, much better. And so that is one thing I'm really going to stress is that take your time, do it right, go slow, grind certain parts away, and then come back and try it again and try it again and try it again until it fits correctly. Now, it does take a long time, so take into account that. We're super happy with the outcome of these fiberglass fenders. The truck stance is awesome. These fenders bulging out. It looks super good. So if you want to find these fenders, I'll put a link down in the description below. Appreciate you watching. Hammer down on that subscribe button. And don't forget, keep crawling.